Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that, Anna, that like, look, there's a lot of people looking to come here for the first time and potentially, I mean, they're looking for a plan B. I mean, what are the things that people should understand about living here?
Well, I mean, I think that Costa Rica is a great option for most people that want to live in a peaceful setting. We have great weather. We have the most amazing thing we have is amazing people. But also, I think that our infrastructure, especially in the coastal areas where most expats want to move to, has improved so much. And I mean, just the international airport in Guanacaste has changed everything. But also just the schools, that are now available. Like you see that, now there's 5, 6 great schools on the coast in most of the coasts. And so, international schools, so very good, wonderful setting. You see Hospital Metropolitano, for example, which is connected to MediSmart, which is one of the health
Insurance companies. Yeah.
insurance companies. Uh, it's all over now. There's a Hospital Metropolitano in Jaco, in Guanacaste, close to Flamingo. Then there's another one in Quepos. You see it all over now. I mean, you see the infrastructure sort of adapting to the needs, and the demand for it as more and more expats have moved to Costa Rica. I spoke with a client yesterday, had the most, wonderful conversation because, everything I said, his smile just got so big. It's like, I'm like, yeah, if you live, he was thinking about Escazú or Heredia or Santa Ana, which is in the city. And then every time I said, yeah, the beach is only like an hour and a half away, he was big smile. But there's also like all the main hospitals are here and, theater and movies and concerts and all kinds of cool stuff. Big smile. I think that also the fact that he has quite a very good monthly pension
Yep.
also allows him to feel comfortable. Because I said, Costa Rica is not as, the prices is not as low as other Central American countries. And there is a reason for it, right? Our import tax is much higher. We protect our local producers much more, and we're proud of it. It is what it is. We can't be perfect. We can't fit into this perfect image that it's going to be wonderful, beautiful, stable, and also cheap.
Yeah.
We're not cheap, but we're a great value. That's all I can say. So yeah, I just think that it's very easy to adapt to a very good quality of life in Costa Rica. The
Yeah.
weather and the people and the infrastructure and the beauty, of course.
I mean, look, I mean, that sounds great, but I'm sure some people listening are like, okay, what's the downside? What is some other stuff that people need to understand about moving to Costa Rica?
Well, I mean, I think that as the reality is that we also deal with bureaucracy, right? I mean, getting anything done takes a little bit longer than in their country of in the US or in Canada or even in Europe. It's the reality of a country that is still developing.
Yeah.
We're still a developing country, not as like the AID, for example, the USAID program decided that Costa Rica was not a developed country anymore, ever since like 20 years ago. But I believe that there are areas that they still cover, because there are areas that are still, having its challenges, and it is a process. But I think that as a country, infrastructure, I think, road infrastructure is complicated. The city, the traffic is real here where I live. And you just kind of learn how to organize and pick and choose the times when get out of the house if you can. If you work, if you have to go to an office during rush hour, then, it's a little bit, you just have to give yourself a little bit more time. But I also think that, it's for Costa Ricans, Richard, it's not easy as well. Like we struggle uh, with making ends meet because it's an expensive country.
Yeah.
But there are tips and tricks. I always share it with my clients. Farmers market, Just be very good about getting great butcher shop to get your protein. And just going to the supermarket for those little bits of things that are still missing from your list. But basically just splurge on going out to eat and imported products as much as your budget allows.
Yeah.
But I believe that transport, I think infrastructure for me is one of the big things, like the road infrastructure. I hear a lot of expats going, wow, it took me 5 hours to go from San Jose to Guanacaste. I'm like, yeah, that's what it takes. They're fixing the road, it's getting better. But what I do is I travel, at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all,
Fly. It takes
figure out a
35,
way.
40 minutes.
Yeah, you figure out a way to make it work for you. And, and it is what it is. But I think that Costa Rica is on an always improving, and that's what's exciting about it.
I think it's slow but steady. I always say that to Costa Rica, like we don't have this volatility that a lot of worlds have, or like in Panama that they saw this massive growth. Costa Rica is just slow and steady, which is what I like. I like that stuff. Maybe the infrastructure is not perfect here because then it takes so long to do stuff here. Only good ideas get done. I mean, I say that because you have to be passionate, like about doing things. Costa Rica. I say that as a developer myself, of like, if you're not passionate about what you do, you just give up at the red tape. Like it's not a place to make a quick buck. It's not a place that you can come in and just do whatever you want. Like there are restrictions in certain areas, and because of the infrastructure, it restricts certain projects as well, which is good because it keeps it that boutiqueness, that organicness, that we all love Costa Rica for.
Absolutely. And also, I think that it's very important when you're developing or building, where you want to build or develop anything. The environmental laws in Costa Rica exist.
Yeah.
And so I think that the country has been very good about protecting, the water source and also just making sure that primary forests are not affected. So I think it's a process that takes a little bit of time. Unfortunately, not as fast as we would like. But I think that as we grow and develop more, because the country really has taken off since COVID, just because there's just been so much demand, I think that everything that's been happening, it's actually positive. It's the country trying to get up to speed with what's really happening. And I also see that very much in the immigration department. They were really stuck because they had so many requests for residency that they keep making little changes. Like every couple of months, the immigration lawyer that I usually recommend that we work with, she keeps updating me because just little things that